Hello Libra, good morning. This is your reading for February 2022. So let's get started. Let's clear the energy. So angels, spirits, guides, can we please have some cards for Libra for February? What do the Libra need to know? Or what can benefit them, support them, help them? What can help them? So cards for Libra, please. Man holding a heart. Yin yang. And financial constraints. Okay, so man holding a heart, it can mean there's somebody watching you, somebody's got their eye on you. If you might approach you and ask you for a date, somebody building up the courage, that's normally the page, but it can be. And if you're already in a relationship, it can be, you might get a surprise. He might up the ante or surprise you emotionally, romantically. But this is definitely a love card. So yin yang is about balance. It's about energy. It's about male energy, female energy, getting the balance right. It's interesting because it's coming out with man holding a heart, so we'll see where that goes with the tarot. It's also about activity, knowing when to act, when not to act. So, and financial constraints, but please note that the door's opening, so it's opening to being freed from that. So you may have had to save, you may have been on a budget, you may have been watching your money, and to be honest, who wouldn't be after Christmas? So you may find that eases up a little bit. You might have had a tight January, and you'll find it's just beginning to get a little bit easier. You might be able to treat yourself in February because things are easing. Right, let's see what the tarot say. So angels, spirits, guides, can we please have some cards, some clarifiers for Libra, please? What do Libra need to learn or benefit from? What will stand them in a good stead in February, please? Have I taken my cards upside down? I have. Sorry, let me just put that one back, because I always check my cards and I've picked them up upside down. I'm not happy with that. I'll have another shuffle. I just need to know that I've got them right way up. Yeah. If the cards turn by themselves during a shuffle, that's fine. But I don't ever start a reading with them upside down. So 3 cards, please, for man holding a heart. We get the Knight of Cups. So very much a sort of similar card, but it's interesting. So Knight of Cups. We have the 9. Is that not the one that popped out before? So I always believe if it's meant to come out, it will come. Oh, no, it was the 10, I think. We have the 9 of Wands. And we have Temperance. So for yin yang, we have the 10 of Cups. Beautiful card. We have Justice. That's your card, actually. Oh, no, yeah. That represents Libra in the tarot, the Justice card. So your own card is out this month. Emperor, that's Aries energy. Financial constraints, we have the 6 of Cups. We have the Lovers. Wow, that's Gemini. And we have Strength, which is Leo. So you've got a lot of other energies around you straight away. Right, I'm going to start with the first card, move to the center, and read the last. I'm doing those first because those are important positions. They influence the other cards. So let's just get a handle on those, and then we'll go and fill with the rest, because you've got some big, you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana and a wish card. So I mean, really quite a strong reading. Right, so your first card up is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups indicates change, emotional change, good change, change that's going to bring you happiness, bring you joy. The Page of Cups is normally the person that would actually pluck up the courage to have the first date. But you've read it, that's out of the way. This can be when somebody is ready to take a relationship to the next level. And it's come out under Man Holding a Heart. So for some of you guys, Libra, somebody could be, especially those in relationships or beginning relationships, the other person, it can be way more into it and ready for commitment and might surprise you with it, and hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised. But it feels very nice, actually, the fact that it came out with Man Holding a Heart. I like that. So your center card is Justice. So, and as I said, it's your card. So you're in your own energy this month, which is nice. But this is a card again of balance, and which is very much about temperance. So your cards this month would be about achieving balance in different areas. Now, very much romantically, very much about relationships, very much in regard, it can touch work, job, how you interact with people. But I'm feeling quite strongly that it's emotional. So this can be about achieving an emotional well-being as well. Sometimes it's about managing emotions, managing expectations, managing the fact that I expect certain standards from people and they often let me down. Now that might not be so much about their behaviour, but the fact that you're maybe expecting too much, or do they know what you expect? So there's management levels going on here, and I would have to say to you that we cannot control other people's behaviour, what they think, what they do, how they act. We can only control our responses to it. Now, the Justice card has come out under Yin Yang. So that, as I said to you before, about when I need to get active, when I need to take some action, or when I need to hang fire. So you may feel that this month, because Justice also represents truth and it's about a process, but you may hear the truth of something or about somebody this month, and you might want to go straight firing in there. And these cards would be saying hang fire. Maybe it's not your place to do it, I don't know, but maybe you feel that you would like to. The cards would be saying weigh it up. Do you may be acting a little bit because your emotions are high, and you might not say that when you've actually calmed down. So they're saying just try and achieve balance, because you've got three balance cards here. Yin Yang is about balance. Justice, she's got the scales, and he's balancing as he's pouring. So balance is a big thing in your cards this month. Okay, Libra. Right, so let's move on here. So you've also got strength. Now, strength isn't just about being strong. It's also about having the capacity to last the pace, to see something through from the beginning to the end. It's about really getting a handle on me, what makes me tick, what drives me. Now, note in the strength card that she's taming this lion. This is about taming the internal beast that is in all of us. And the internal beast that's in me may be different from the internal beast that's in you. In me, it could be complacency, laziness, whatever. In you, it could be self-doubt. It could be procrastination. It's different things. So it's about getting a handle on something, and it's saying that you can do it. Now, strength has come out under the card of financial constraints, so you may have to maybe make this last a little bit longer, whether you're saving or you're knuckling down and not spending, or you're trying to control your money. So they're saying you can do this. So whenever you start to go into that, oh, this is a pain, I don't want to do this, this is too much, they're saying, no, you can do it, you can make it happen. So really be aware of the need to strike a happy medium in many different areas for you this month, Libra. Okay, so let's get going. Now, with the Knight of Cups, we have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a wish card. It's about emotional fulfillment. It's about happiness, joy, something coming right. Now, long term, it can be that happy. It can be that happy ever after. Further down the line, I'm going to have the family I want. Further down the line, I'm going to be emotionally replete and joyous and have 2 children and my world's going to be great. But that's further down the line. Right now we're thinking about February. But this can be the beginning of something. Because with the Knight of Cups, man holding a heart, and the Lovers here, although I haven't even dealt with that yet, this can be the beginning around February of, and don't forget, energy, it fluctuates. So although I'm aiming for February, it can be a little bit on this in the January side and a little bit in the March side. It's not cast in stone, because nothing is, and neither are we. Things happen in divine timing when it's meant to. So I don't want to be rigid about that timing. So it would indicate that there's the beginning of something, there's the beginning of change, and that change is going to bring you long-term happiness. Now, what that change looks like to you could be romance, could be a new relationship, it could be to do with building your family, adding to your family, thinking of getting pregnant, thinking it's time to start your family. It could, because we also have the Six of Cups here. And the Six of Cups is a very nostalgic card. It's about also remembering when I was little, the bits of my childhood that I liked, that I enjoyed, maybe what I didn't like, that I wouldn't want my own children to live in that certain way, or live in that type of house, or live in that sort of area. So it's about my own experience coming into it. But it's often a card, it's a very kind card. It's a card about passing on. So it's very much tied in with the family card, the long-term card. You may even, if any of you are already in existing relationships with existing, happy marriages with children, you might be thinking about what you'd like to pass down to your children. You might be actually looking at your child and saying, do you know what, that kid's quick, what a sense of humor, just like me, or just like my. So there's that looking at and being aware of what is being handed down generation to generation. So it can also be is when you start to think about, my mother has given me her ring, and your mum might be with you, but my mum actually gave us all stuff way before she died, because that's how she wanted to do it. But it can be about beginning to actually think about what you have and think, well, I'd like somebody to have this or somebody to have that, because it's a card of giving, sharing, nostalgia, nice memories, good memories. It's a card of family, of relationships. And the other interesting thing about this card is it can be that bolt from the blue when somebody from the past gets in touch with you. Now, we have the Lovers right under it. So an ex can get in touch with you this month, Libra. Be aware of that. Now, it can also be when an old schoolmate gets in touch with you, or somebody you went to college with, or somebody you grew up with, or somebody you used to work with years ago. It's that little blast from the past that you might just get out the blue in February. But be aware, we have the Lovers underneath it, so this could go somewhere. It really could. Now we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, especially on top of Temperance, would indicate that you're approaching a point in either your work life or your job or your career, and you might be thinking, I think I've had enough of this. I don't know if nursing is for me. I mean, after all that studying, but I just don't know if I want to spend all my time in it. I don't know whether this job is right for me. I think this feels like the walking wounded. This feels like somebody that's put their effort, their time, their energy, their studying, they've given it their all, but they're beginning to realize that it's not all it was cracked up to be. So you might find yourself a little bit feeling, just beginning to wonder if your choices were right for you. Okay, and with Temperance being under it, the cards would be indicating, well, don't rush into anything. Explore it. Are you really feeling this, or is it just a phase? So give it time. Give it time. You can actually, all right, say all of a sudden you thought nursing is not what I thought it was cracked up to be. I'm absolutely exhausted. I can't deal with the emotional side of it, because it has come out under Man Holding a Heart. I didn't realise it would have this pull on me. And but it's about acknowledging it, processing it, not having a knee-jerk reaction and saying, right, that's it, I'm jacking it tonight. Take time. See how you feel emotionally. Take your time. Maybe start to, if you really feel, well, what would I do next? Start to do your research, but you don't have to rush into anything. Now, the Emperor is about stability. He can be about an institution. He can be the CEO of a company, or he can represent big institutions like the NHS or the legal system or whatever. But he's always, always, always about building solidly. So when the Emperor shows, it's about really building. And it can be that somebody is guiding you how to build your career. If other cards came out around with him, I could say maybe it's literally about building a home, building an extension, but I'm not seeing that. I'm feeling this is about possibly a career, taking advice, taking the advice of somebody who really is either very knowledgeable, very experienced, very mature, has a lot to offer, and listening to what they've got to say, weighing it up, because he's surrounded with justice. So sometimes it can be when I am not impressed with these three cards surrounding this, can be when I'm in an institution, whether it's legal or and I'm just not impressed with it. And the cards would be just saying to you, okay, but hold it. Not hold it permanently, but hold the thought. No rushing into something, because this is about getting something right. He's conservative. He's very rock solid. He's very fair. So it's about treating people and being treated with kindness and fairness and long-term, really long-term thinking here. So it's about getting it right emotionally as well. Now, I did briefly touch on the Lovers. So this can indicate the deepening or a more of a commitment in an existing relationship, or it can mean the beginning of a new relationship. So as I said, you have 2, 4, 5 major arcana cards here, which are quite big. So this can also indicate in a career reading, this could indicate just finding that perfect job, finding that perfect role, finding that perfect company that you're both singing from the same hymn sheet. You love their mission statement. You love what they stand for. All of that. So it's a little bit open to interpretation because of the lack of minor arcana cards around it. These are quite statement cards. This is what you have to pay attention to this month. But on a more personal level, it's about emotions, very much for you this month, Libra. Very much about finding the balance emotionally, being aware that a relationship is either going to intensify, deepen, be more committed, be more loving, and be more passionate. But it's also moving toward long-term goals. So if your long-term goals are marriage, children, committed relationships, then energetically there's a shift towards that in February. So it's about it really is thinking long term. It's about building and building solid. So if you're starting a new relationship, build it authentically. Be real from the get-go. Don't be trying to be this and that and whatever. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be firm. And also and this is a card about with justice as well, it's about knowing your own boundaries, knowing what makes you tick, and putting those boundaries in place. You can do it gently. You don't have to be harsh about it. You can actually say, no, I'm sorry, that doesn't actually work for me. I'm learning to do that, and it's taken me years to do that. You know, because it's about not people pleasing. It's about building for you what is right for you. And that's in relationships, it's in career, it's emotionally. So quite, as I say, a lot of emotional cards for you this month, Libra. So let's get 3 enchanted map cards and see where we're going with that. So angels, spirits, guides. Can we have 3 enchanted map cards, please, for Libra? What do Libra have to have a think about this month, please? Moonlight. Okay, that's quite an interesting card. It's about shadow and light. So you might have been feeling a bit low, and you might be starting to feel a bit more up and a bit lighter. You might be facing looking at little bits of yourself that you don't particularly like, and we try and ignore. You might be forced to actually acknowledge them, especially if you're moving into a new relationship. You might be forced to, or you may be in a position that you'll have to examine aspects of a relationship that are being raised for you emotionally this month. You might be getting triggered, and you might have to think, how can I manage this? It can be when you realize that you've got a bit of, there's a bit of jealousy going on, and you think, oh, it's not an attractive looking, that's not a good look. How can I manage this? So it's about looking at you, and maybe just the bits that you would prefer not to bring out into the light. And I would be saying to you, bring it out, be open about it, because that will help dissipate the power. That will help neutralize it and get rid of it. Oh, pulled 2, so I'm going to have to take those. Right. We have Ghostlands Reversed. So Ghostlands, Ghostlands Reversed is about, the actual meaning of the card from Colette is thinking too much into the future. And as it's reversed, I would say that maybe with Moonlight, you are projecting into the future. It can be about, well, if I stay with him, he's going to give me hell because he's going to constantly be flirting, and I'm going to be jealous and whatever. And the cards would be saying, no, you need to stay in the present. Your head can be running away with you here. And into the unknown. So there's, as I say, there's an energetic shift beginning. It feels like change. It feels like big change because we've got major arcana here. So into the unknown is very much a card of finding your facts, do your research, do your homework. And when you're taking any decisions in February, make sure you're fully armed with knowledge, that you know exactly what you're dealing with, or get as much information as possible. Okay, because it's about change. There is change coming in. It feels like change in you. It feels about change in relationships, either deepening, and it's also about learning about yourself, what makes you tick in relationships, and maybe even learning about the other person as well. What is, but this is very much about you. And they're saying as well, you're going to tame any inner beast. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? Tame the inner beast, but we've got them all. Strangely enough, the inner beast is the shadow side, which is indicated here. So it's very much about dealing with little bits of yourself that you might not really like this month. Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. So that's that card of, as I say, about acknowledging the little bits of you that you might not like, and just being truthful with you, and maybe being truthful with somebody else, and just acknowledging the fact that you're experiencing something, and you might even be working at trying to change it, but you can still acknowledge it, because if it's allowed to stay in the dark, in the shadow, and it feels energetically as if you might have already started the process, because This card is also a 6, which feels like I'm making progress somewhere. So you might be working on issues of jealousy or self-doubt or your self-esteem, or, you know, you might just be, you might have already started that process. So continue, you're doing well. And purpose, I know what I am here to do. Now that's quite interesting, because this card would actually be saying I'm having doubts. And doubts are just a feeling, a thought process that we have to actually investigate. And if that doubting process actually then throws up, I feel like a square peg in a round hole, that's okay, because it's going to help you identify where your square peg is actually going to fit properly. So purpose is about identifying, and it's not a big thing for me anyway. I don't look upon it, oh, what is my life path? What am I here to do? You're here, for me, you're here to experience joy. You're here to experience every human emotion, the range of human emotion, the range of human experiences, and learn from that and enjoy it, have fun with it. So this is a learning process. So you may have to go through some sort of digging deep, facing. And listen, please, 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 there's no shame in acknowledging that you don't feel right in a context anymore. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in saying, but I studied accounts for 8 years and here I am, I want to be a nurse. Yeah, and so you learned something, you set off with, and you switched paths. This is very much about, you know, about finding out about you. And so if you have any hesitation about saying, I don't want to face the fact that I hate my job, I hate what I've taken on, I can't stand it a minute longer, and you're building up to that, it's about being honest. Being honest with yourself and others. And acceptance. Learning to accept yourself. Learning to accept yourself, warts and all. You're not perfect. Who is? How boring would that be if everyone were perfect? So they're your soul cards. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others, especially in regards to your role, your purpose as you see it in life, especially in regards to your job, your career, or how you view your life as moving forward. Get honest this month, because it's your life. You've got the choices to make. And anyway, a bit of a bit of digging, a bit of digging deep into yourself. Do your fact finding, do your research. But relationships, family life, very well starred this month. And something coming right, the truth coming out, something coming right, but balance. A big call for balance for you this month, Libra. So strive for balance in all areas. No knee-jerk reactions. No, I would be saying to you, don't take any monumental big decisions and announce it to the world. Think it through first, and you're on the right path then. Okay? Hope that helps you, Libra. See you next month. Bye for now.